Some basic facts about your district. Looking at them, and I'd rather have you characterize it, it looks like you're a decidedly middle-class district. We have median household income of $62,000, 30% with college degree. Is that how you see your constituents?
Well, it's definitely a middle-income district. It's a district that's, we cover the Hudson Valley, the Catskills. We have Hyde Park, FDR's home. We have Woodstock. We have Bethel, New York, where the Woodstock concert actually was. We have the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. It's a beautiful district, heavily tourist, heavily agricultural, small towns, and filled with hardworking people. The district is doing reasonably well right now economically. It's doing much better in the last year and a half. Certainly, it's recovered from the recession. The Main Street economy is humming. Contractors are very busy. People that own hardware stores and convenience stores and places where contractors go for building materials, etc., they tell me that they've never been so busy. But we do have some underlying economic problems. Agriculture is in a very deep trouble, especially dairy. So we're very concerned about the trade issue because we have a lot of small manufacturers. I visited a sawmill yesterday in the western part of my district that's very concerned about the impact of tariffs with China.
Well, let's continue on that subject of trade, if you would, because it is important to your constituents. Do you agree with the approach that President Trump is taking right now to trade, whether it's with NAFTA, whether it's with Europe, whether it's with China?
Well, I'm concerned about the approach the president has taken. I think that overwhelmingly, he is correct about trying to focus on the Chinese use of theft of intellectual property, of their discriminatory treatment, violating WTO agreements in terms of U.S. businesses doing business over there and the requirements that they put on those businesses. So I think overwhelmingly in that area, the president is correct. The concern that many of our businesses have is that if they have an economic stake and use steel or aluminum in manufacturing, or if they're an apple grower, they're very concerned about the uncertainty that the trade war, the trade disputes that we're having, both with the EU and with Canada and Mexico, are having on their businesses. They want to see this concluded quickly. I think that's the overwhelming thing. They like the fact the president is standing up for U.S. business, but they also want this to not last very long.
Congressman, another issue that has come up in any number of races is taxes, and the tax cuts that the Republicans really put through, got passed, got enacted last December. At the same time, it's not clear that Republicans are getting credit, if credit is the right word, across the country. We'll put up a poll here that came out of Monmouth University that actually shows, if anything, the tax cuts are becoming somewhat less popular over time, and it's somewhere down in the 34% range right now as approval, as opposed to 41% disapproval. Is that a problem for you as you run for re-election?
Well, I find that most people aren't talking about the tax cut, so I don't think it's the primary focus of concern right now. When I speak to small businesses, they very much like the pass-through for subchapter S corporations. Larger companies like the fact that we are able to repatriate dollars earned abroad here to the United States without double taxation. Those are all good things. The average person in my district is probably getting a tax cut, the average family, of about $1,500 per family. So that's more money in their pocket. But I don't think that this is first and foremost in the minds of people. I can tell you what employers tell me is that they can't find people to fill the jobs that they have. We have a situation in the country today where there are more job openings than there are unemployed people. So we have a very robust economic growth, over 4%. We have basically full employment right now. In fact, many businesses will tell you that they can't fill the jobs that they have, and that there's a mismatch with the skills that workers have with the skills that they need in employment. So this is a big issue that is affecting us. One reason why I want enhanced work requirements for public benefit programs like the SNAP program or food stamp program is because we have a couple of million people who are able-bodied, who are not working or not in a training program, who should be working or get in a training program in order to receive, to continue to receive benefits like food stamps. So that's an issue that right now divides Democrats and Republicans in Washington.
Another issue that has divided Democrats and Republicans has been health care. And I'll put up some Gallo numbers, actually, indicating sort of overall approval, disapproval, favorable impression, negative impression on health care in the country. And basically, in recent years, and in fairness, this happened before President Trump came in, basically total negative view has surpassed total positive view. But under President Trump, it has not improved really one bit. Is that an issue for your constituents? Are they concerned about health care? Do they see Democrats as part of the solution, part of the problem, Republicans as solution or problem?
Well, I think it's really mixed. Democrats will, of course, argue about the Republican replacement bill. I supported that. It did protect people with pre-existing conditions, despite what Democrats will say. But the fact is what most average people say in my district, and I think across the country, they're concerned about continuing increases in premiums and deductibles. And that's why we need to approach some other things to try to reduce the cost pressure upward. But the main reason why healthcare costs keep going up is demographics in our country. And I don't think we can escape that. Demographics are destiny. And as we age in our population, we're going to consume more healthcare services. Americans demand the most advanced technological changes, et cetera. And so there are definitely cost pressures that we can address, and we should. We should have a reinsurance fund so that at the federal level, so that we can lower premiums and deductibles. They're doing this successfully in states like Wisconsin and Maine and Minnesota. We should do this nationwide so that we can reduce the exposure that insurers have to the very high-cost patients and have that reinsurance fund pick up those costs for those patients that have high costs. That would lower premiums and deductibles for everyone.